Good evening. Hello, hello. Welcome. Minute late there because my phone did an update this afternoon and had some weird things going on with my camera. So, anyways, good evening. My name is 𝗧𝗢𝗣𝗘 and I am ButterDish Designs. This is Crafty Hour live and episode 96. So, welcome. Please say hello, and if you have any questions, please ask. If I don't catch them during the live, I'd be happy to answer them afterwards. And just know that I appreciate you all watching. So thank you and welcome. Hi. So this evening, I don't want you to be nervous about the amount of supplies that I'm going to be using this evening. It's just I put a lot of different things together for this particular card. So, which is a-okay, and more than likely you have something that you can substitute, etc. But the main thing about tonight is the layout. I hope that you like it. I am in love with this little layout, and yeah. So let me just go to the other screen here. I'm just clearing off the stuff. Hi, Connie. So let's go to, okay. So this is the card they're going to be making this evening. So it is just a really fun card. Believe it or not, the only piece of colored cardstock on this particular one is this little strip right here. All this we're going to be making this evening. And yeah, so I'll show you the supplies first. Thank you. I was like just in love with these, with the colors. So pretty. I know it's already almost summertime here in Arizona, but kind of, fun, bright colors. So anyways, and there's the little coordinating envelope. And then normally on a white card, I don't do a mat inside, but this one I did just to fancy it up a little bit. So, all right, let's talk about let's straighten, there we go. Straighten that camera a little bit. That's better, I guess. All right, so let's talk about the stamp sets and stuff I'm using so I can clean them off here, and then I will talk about the paper. So I'm actually using this bundle, and we're going to be using this particular butterfly and the coordinating die, and then going to be using this. The sentiment is from the Wonderful Thoughts here. This one here, it says, "You're wonderful, you're loved, you matter." This is one stamp, but we're only going to be using just that part there. There we go. And I snuck in a little of art and texture. This is one of my favorite background stamp sets to add just a little bit of something to that background without doing it. And where I added that at was actually not any of this, but it's on the background of this die cut circle, which is the Spotlight on Nature dies. And we're just using this one here. So, all right, let me just set these off to the side or behind me here. And let me set my sample over here. And let's talk about the pieces. I am going to leave this here. I have them written down. So, and I'll actually bring that closer just so you can see it. Now, this top one is the optional inside piece if you're using white, so you don't have to put that in there. I just wanted that extra little something with that. So You actually need, when you're looking at a whole sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock in the basic white, you need a sheet and a quarter to complete this card. Okay. So we have there's the optional inside. This is of course they're stuck. There's our envelope, of course. That's our card base. This is our berry burst piece, which is 7/8 by 4 1/4. And then we have this little strip here, which is the 1/4 by 4 inch. That's for this sentiment part right there. And then we have the pieces for the card front, these 4 right here. And so they go 2 inches by 4 inches. Then they are going to go 1 inch by 4 inch, 3/4 of an inch by 4 inch, and then 1 1/4 by 4 inch. So I purposely did not want them going, biggest to smallest, etc. I went ahead and changed that up there. So those are those right there. We are going to start with those pieces first because they do need to dry. And we're going to do that. So I'm going to set that off to the side there. And let me go to the overhead over here. And here we go. So we are going to be doing some blending. So I'm going to carefully put these pieces that I do not want colored away into the envelope that I have them in there. And let me talk about the colors here. So this memento is for the butterfly and the sentiment. But the color combination that we're going to be making these 4 colors from this evening is Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, and Berry Burst. So fun, bright colors. All right. You will need blending brushes for this. I've had these long before Stampin' Up! Came out with them, so I am just, that's what I'm using there. I just kind of keep them for the color families. So let's go ahead and start with the lightest color first, okay? And that is the larger piece here. And let's start blending. So, and put that over there. I just like to kind of start off and then go. And you can get this color on there pretty quickly. If you hold these down here, you have less pressure, less control. If you hold them up closer to the head where you can put a finger on the brush head, you get more control. Okay. Now you may notice on the card here, I do have 4 colors. So on the next one, we are going to make the color. All right, so there's that piece, and that piece stays as is. This next piece here, we are still going with the Pretty in Pink. And that's good. And close this. Now we're going to go ahead and switch to the Petunia Pop. All right. And so now we're making a whole new color. Petunia and pink, or whatever you want to call it. But it is Pretty in Pink and Petunia Pop. All right, so there's color number 2. Let's go to color number 3, which is Straight Petunia. There we go. And then color number 4 is Berry Burst. And I am purposely trying to get some uneven, not solid coloring here, just to give it a different look. All right. Now these will dry a little different color than what they are now, so that's good right there. We may want to those over there. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the water painter and we are going to put some water on here. And I'm just going to squeeze this, make sure it's going. I am going to put some water here on this block. Just put those close together there. And I am flinging this in no shape form here. And one thing I forgot to say is that we needed a paper towel, because this isn't watercolor paper, so you don't want to leave that on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off. There we go. And so we've got some bigger spots there and some little ones. We'll get a little bit more going here. All right, should be good there. And again, just go ahead and bring up some of that excess water. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is get out the Stampin' Blends. And I have them in the coordinating colors here. So we have Berry Burst, Light and Dark, the Petunia Pop, and the Petal Pink. Because this flings, I am going to move my sample card out of the way. And yeah, so I'm just going to protect that there. And what I'm going to do is, you can do this a couple different ways, but I take out the cap on the brush tip. Hey, Emily. Hey, Jill. Just so you know, we're making this card here. We're making the background right now. All right, so I'm going to take that long tip here and in the cap here, and you're just going to flick it. So this is what ends up happening. So we did our water spots, which are taking out the color from the blending, which is great. And we've got a little bit of the flicks there from the blends. Right. Go ahead and move over to this one here. This one is the Petunia Pop. I'm gonna go with the light. All right. So there are those two. They're drying still. Let's go ahead and go to this one here. This is still a combination kind of Petunia Pop and the Petal Pink. So I am just doing the light Petunia Pop again on that one there. And then we have the Petal Pink one. And again, I'm going to use the light. And this is just a fun way to get some added texture onto that. Okay, so there we go. So those are those pieces there. They are still drying from where I flicked the water on them. So I am going to just leave them set over here. I am going to actually dry this block off and just set it on top. There we go. Okay. We have got this piece here that we're going to do a little bit of stamping on, as well as a couple of the others. So let's start with the butterfly. And let me pull that back out there. And because I am using the alcohol markers to color this butterfly, I am using the Memento ink because it will not run. Right. We also are going to get the circle die cut out of this piece. So I'm putting the butterfly down on the end there. Okay. And just grab that other piece here, you know. We're not stamping on our card base, so I can pull that off to the side, but we are stamping on our inside and these two small pieces here. If you missed it, I did give the measurements at the beginning and hold it up, so. Right. So let's go ahead and do our other one that takes the Memento. And I only want one small part of this. You're wonderful. And so I don't want these on this side. So I am just going to carefully get that going there. Sure. And yes, it's a teeny tiny piece. However, it is the photopolymer. You can see right through it. So there we go. You're wonderful. All right. And I'm keeping to the left side because we're going to cut a little banner on it, banner end. And I need it to be able to fit the circle die cut. There. All right. We are actually done with the Memento. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and do the colored ink. And we will start with the Pretty in Pink. Now with this ink can come off very bright I don't want it so bright, so I am going to stamp off not once, but twice. And there we go. That is for the inside. And I know you can't see it all that well, but it is there. And then let me grab the envelope. And same thing, not once, but twice. So just think about that you get, like at least three colors out of every color that you have. Okay, so that's that. And then the background of that circle die is got it on there. So once, twice, and this is in no particular rhyme or reason. I just made enough to cover it. And I did flip it around. And just try to fill that in because I'm going to do this die cut like that. Okay. And let's switch to the last ink color here is the Berry Burst. And these little leaves, I thought they went well. Okay, here. So we have the envelope. I just did 3 like that. And then we had the card inside. Anybody have any special plans for the long weekend? Oh, we're not done yet. So we're going to do tone on tone with this one here. And as you're doing this, I like to turn them around so that we can get some different parts showing. You're not really going to see this last one, but I stamped it anyways. Okay. All right. That's it for the ink pads. And this off here. Okay. There we go. Last thing to do before we die cut and assemble is to color this butterfly. These sketch butterflies are just so beautiful. All right, let's start with the body. I went ahead, I didn't want black because I didn't want to hide the lines, so I went with smoky slate. And we'll do the light first. And this butterfly is a true joy to color because seriously, it is it's really sketchy and forgiving. So, and then I just went and did a little bit darker on the one side there. Just giving a little highlight. That's it for that. Let's start with the Berry Burst is on the outside here. And we are going to go the darker first. And there are some circles. And they're not all there, just so you know. So you just kind of wherever you feel like putting it, okay? It's sketchy, like I said. So you really can't go wrong with this. No matter what you do to it, it's going to look beautiful. All right, so I use the light, Berry Burst light. And I am going directly over those ones that I just did. Very quick. You can tell it's coming together quickly here. If you wanted those circles to be just a little bit darker, you can always go back and just make them pop a little bit more. So you can see how that's coming there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the petunia pop, and we're going to go with the light first. And all I did was just kind of make it go towards the body there. That looks good. And then with the little bullet tip of this one, I went over the squiggles and along the edges there. There we go. All right, let's move on to the Pretty in Pink. Put that last one in here. And when you first put this on, ooh, it kind of looks fluorescent, but it calms down just a little bit. And you can make your blends, your alcohol markers last longer if you try not, don't push on this brush tip, just kind of do them on the side. Okay. Let's go to the dark. And I just, wherever there's a line, I just kind of add this for a little extra depth there. And that's it. So that's done. Let me move these out of the way. And then let's cut this out and we will assemble. Okay. All right, so we have this here. I'll be doing this one and this one. This one I don't need to tape down, but this one, because you've got those little antennae, I just want to use some of my little green tape. Tear off a piece of that. Don't need quite that much. But let me go ahead and line this up. I'm not directly overhead, so it's hard for me to see. So bear with me. I'm sure you're all a little to the left, a little to the right. Maybe. There we go. Hopefully that's good there. All right. Send that through there. Okay. This has that beautiful edge detailing on it. And then this one just gives you that little edge there. All right. Back here too. All right. Let's assemble. Let's assemble. Got all of our pieces here. Okay. So these are our card front here. We need to do our little banner. And let me show you guys how I do that. I want this to be kind of a short banner. I don't want it to be very long. If you start with your tips, you have to keep cutting. You can start back here and just go in a little bit. So all I'm doing is eyeballing approximately in half and just going in just a smidge. And then I will go from this one. And then I like to flip it over just because it's easy for me to see and do it. And I'm going to go from this corner. And there we go. So there's our banner on the one. This one is going to be super tiny. Right? Hopefully I got this far enough to the one side. Again, just going in just a little bit. You can actually feel it. I'll flip that over and go from the other side. And I know you think I'm going to cut my finger, but I'm not, or my thumb there. And there's our other one. Okay. So there is our card base. Go ahead and fold that in half on the score line. Give it a good, match it up there. Give it a good burnish. Their bone folder. And I am going to wait to put the inside in. Let's go ahead and start with this left side here. Just going to use some multi-purpose glue. You don't need a lot, even though a lot just oozed out there. Just thinner side. And I know how much of a border there is, so I'm just looking to get that the best I can on all three sides. Glue gives me just a little bit of time to react there and move it around. That looks pretty good. I am going to go to the opposite side now. Once I hold that down for a second. Okay. And that is this berry burst piece. Now, I like these little splatters here, so I want to see them, so I'm just going to flip that around to the whichever one, because the bottom part is going to be more covered by the circle die. And again, just kind of eyeballing an even amount on the three sides. There we go. Looks pretty good. Oops. Okay. So now this is where you do want to do a little bit of checking. Do these fit? Do I like the amount of space there is? Is it okay like that? Are you good with that? You can always trim down one of these if you don't like the spacing. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next one here, and then we'll worry about that on that last piece there. And again, I like that top part, so I'm going to flip that around. There we go. Now let's see how this works here. It's a little tight on this side for me personally, so I am going to trim this just a smidge. And when I say a smidge, I do mean a smidge. So basically like the track width there. Like I did this earlier, just fine. You know what, I gotta put it down at the bottom. Sorry about that. All right. So I just trimmed off this much, just tiny, tiny. And now we are good. Nobody probably would have noticed but me. So you do whatever works for you. All right. Go this way. That looks pretty good there. And there you go. So that's our card front, the first layer. And we are going to go to this one next. This one is adhered directly down. And I just did a little bit of glue again. And I do have this hanging over off the white over here. Looks pretty straight. There we go. Now this one, I do have it hanging off the top of this berry burst piece. So when I go to put the adhesive on it, I'm only going to put it on the bottom portion of it because the top portion is just hanging off a little bit. So just a little tiny bit there. Okay. Put up. Yep, it's. I don't want to move that around too much because it was fine. Thanks. You know. Okay. Let's put some dimensionals on the back side of this. And one in the center. Okay. But I hope you'll give the water part a try, you know, and see, and the alcohol markers, and see how they react with your stamps, or your inks, I mean. Okay, so we're going about there. That looks good. Push that down. Okay, well, to make this butterfly not be so flat, I went ahead and used my bone folder, and I just gently curved those wings. I did the top wing and the bottom. Got to make sure those little butterflies are taking flight. And then where the body is, I kind of bend it up here on the one side, turn it around, and do the other side. So you like that. Now to attach this and let it keep its flying shape, I went ahead and used glue dots for this. So I just did a couple on the body because I know that part is going to be flat. I think I did 3. Yeah, top, middle, and bottom. All right, and then I put one under these bottom parts here because those are going to hit something to where they can tack on. And then the very ends here of these wings. Okay, so we've got this here, and we are going to make sure that it stays onto the card base. There we go. Tack a wing there, tack a wing over here, these bottoms, and that middle. So now we have it, and it is raised just ever so slightly. All right. So the last thing is the embellishments. So these iridescent back discs had enough pinky type colors in them here, these two, that they kind of went with my color scheme. So I went ahead and used these here. All right. And I used 3 dark and 2 light ones. And I just kind of did dark with dark and light with light, just to keep with the theme of the card. There we go. And then one more of these over on this piece here. And there we go. I really love how this one turned out. So there's the card of the day for today and Crafty Hour. So thank you, Emily. Thank you. Like, really, like I said, just a fun way. You can do so many things with this technique here on this background to make for all your cards. So push that one down there. There we go. I hope you'll give it a try. Thank you, Jill. You know, just something, it's just, yeah. I'm like, some cards when you make them, I'm just like, woo! You're welcome. I appreciate you watching. So thank you for watching. Oh, wait, we're not done. We didn't do our inside yet. Almost forgot. I did make, normally on white, I wouldn't put anything on here, but it's a little fancier, so I did want to do that. And that's it. That'll be the end of it. All right. It's like I stamped that. I know I stamped that. And just give it a little extra zhuzh on the inside. There we go. And then you've got your matching envelopes. And we are pretty in pink and purple and all those today. Go back to this. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful long weekend and you get to spend some time with family and friends and remembering. And yeah, so I'll see you next week for episode 97, closing in at 100. And I'm trying to got some special things in the works for that. So stay tuned for that. And I appreciate you watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. And yeah, have a great night and a safe weekend. Thanks, everybody. You need to get together to do watercolor? We can do that. So, all right, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Bye.